This evening, let's explore death, rebirth, and meditation. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi. This is the Lama you are looking for. This evening we could chant and meditate and enjoy a lesson or two. But first, if you love Star Wars and you wish to meditate as profoundly as Rey Skywalker on Ajahn Class, under the guidance of General Leia Organa, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. Once again, this evening we could explore death, rebirth, and meditation, that you too could meditate like a Jedi. If at any time during this evening's live stream you have a question, do not be shy. Simply type your question in great detail in the chat window on the right-hand side of the screen. If you're watching a replay, you're welcome to type your question in the comment area below the video. And I'll get back to you. If it's a really good, juicy question, I'll get back to you. What I'll probably do is write you back and let you know that I'll do a lesson on it in about 7 or so days. That's just how my workflow goes. Don't take that personal. So I'm having a difficult evening as far as my health goes, so no enlightened fitness tonight. And please do not be alarmed by motor tics. D on Reddit asked, is there any way I can guarantee rebirth in the Pure Land in my next life? So before I start on the formal answer, I'm going to give you an informal one. Oof, going back, wow, more than 30 years, I left a Christian cult. And I was drowning in my disabilities, metaphorically speaking. And I wanted to make sure I took auspicious rebirth. So I focused on that intensely, neurotically, anxiously, trying to ensure that I would take an auspicious rebirth. And gradually, over time, I learned that the fundamentalistic strategies, and I'd like to define that for a second, if I could. So when I say fundamentalism, I'm referring to those who are rigid, fearful, controlling, elitist, competitive, and sometimes cruel. The more I learned about the fundamentalist approach I was taking, the more I realized that it flew in the face of the most basic Buddhist teachings of the Four Noble Truths. That my rigidity and fear and controlling tendencies, when indulged, were ignoring the second noble truth, that the indulging of our controlling tendencies exacerbates our stress. So the Buddhist path is not about tightening our grip, it's about learning how to skillfully let go. I was elated to learn the information you're about to receive in the formal response. Beware of teachers or teachings that are predicated upon fear and rigidity. Having said that, now for my formal response. So many people, frightened by fundamentalists' tales of death and unfortunate rebirths, long for safety and hunger for reassurance. I'm going to stop right there. Those who long for safety and hunger reassurance have a metaphoric target on their back. They are easily preyed upon by those who would fleece the flock. They are easily preyed upon by wolves in sheep's clothing. Those who are concerned with their own elitism more than the well-being of those in their charge. Let's continue. And as one who dresses like the love child of a monk and a hippie, they often ask me what to do. I remind them that in the numerical discourses of the Buddha, it is taught that if one trains their mind in love, then an auspicious rebirth is assured. For 50% of the Eightfold Path pertains to loving kindness. Profound joy for each mind. Great peace for all relationships. Profound health for all forms. And good luck for all circumstances. Practice these 4 contemplations, 4 repetitions each, just before meditation and then right after, like bookends. And you too could meditate like a Jedi. Good evening. Okay. Oh, Ms. Tamara, it is a delight to hear from you. Happy New Year. Before we get on with this evening's chanting and meditation, let's pause for about 30 seconds worth of housekeeping. Every 12 hours, I broadcast a live meditation class without any ads. This channel is supported by the generosity of viewers just like you. With your help, this channel could come to support the next generation of nuns, monks, yogis, lamas, and even brick and mortar meditation centers, each replete with a resident teacher and their apprentice. If this speaks to you and you would like to help out, even for as little as the cost of 1 cup of coffee a month, then you're welcome to poke around the description area below the video. You'll find links, one for Patreon and one for PayPal. You'll find YouTube buttons, one that reads join, and then one for Super Chat that looks like a currency sign. Click any one of those and have fun. Your kindness is appreciated. Checking the time, it could be great fun, together as a team, to chant the final 6 passages of my adaptation and amplification of the Padmakara group's translation of Heart Treasure of the Enlightened Ones. The final meditation manual dictated by Dzogchen Rinpoche, a great Tibetan yogi of the late 1800s. Together. The first part, my sorrowful tirade at this decadent age's ways, was a reproof I had intended for myself. The sad lament has affected me deeply. Now I offer it to you, thinking you might feel the same. So, there is some evidence that in the original text, this was a set of 82 quatrains, or sets of 4 lines. Some are shorter than others, some are longer than others, but they definitely seem to fit that paradigm. And although in the past I have transliterated it that way, to add the paraphrases and the amplifications and to make it big enough to fit on a YouTube screen, I had to chop up I had to give each line of each quatrain its own page. Maybe there's someone out there more clever than myself. That's how I did it. But you'll notice that every 4 pages there's an image of an enlightened archetype. And now you know why. That signifies the conclusion of a quatrain. Let's continue. If that is not the case and you have total confidence in the loftiness of your view and meditation, wise ideas about how to combine the worldly and the spiritual, and the diplomatic skill to settle problems to the satisfaction of all. If you have all that, then I offer you my apologies. The second part, my dissertation, establishing view and meditation. Since, of course, I have no experience of realization at all, just sets out what I have understood by the grace of the teachings, from the precious lineage of the all-knowing Father and Son. The third part, my exhortation to relinquish everything in practice, though you may well miss the point is slipped out by itself. Yet since it in no ways contradicts the words of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, it would be truly kind of you to put it into practice. This discourse, virtuous in the beginning, middle, and end, was written in the Cedar's Cave of Right Rock Victory Peak, for an old friend whose pleas could no longer be resisted by that ragged old fellow up who helped her ablaze with the 5 poisons. I have just been prattling on and on, but so what? My theme is of great worth and its meaning unerring. So the merit it brings I offer to you and to all of us throughout the 3 worlds. May the wishes we make inspired by the teachings come true. This is most likely going to be an abbreviated live stream tonight. I will do my very best to give you a full live stream tomorrow morning. Please do not take it personally. Let us guide our motivation upon the path of empathy. May everyone be freed from stress, may everyone be happy, may no one be separated from their happiness. May everyone have balance, free from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging, freed. May I liberate all beings by mastering the Eightfold Path, through relying on the Buddha's example, instructions, and students. May I liberate all beings by mastering the Eightfold Path, through relying on the Buddha's example, instructions, and students. May I liberate all beings by mastering the Eightfold Path, through relying on the Buddha's example, instructions, and students. How could stressors give us the precious opportunity to bring dependence into compassion's path and change into the path of letting go? We're going to play with 4 rhetorical questions, reciting them silently and mentally, in harmony with our inhalations and exhalations and relaxations. For the first half of this evening's mantra contemplation, let us bring mantra into the path of love. Through the cause and effect of my practice of love and letting go, may each sentient being of each world know practice with me in unison. With whom we invoke the example of the Moony Wise One. Like the Maha Greatly Wise One Moony, ye of the Shakas, we so all wish enlightenment for all. As we chant the mantra, it could feel as if golden rays were emitting from a thumbnail size horizontal 12-syllable mantra rosary at our heart. Lavishing all minds, communication, bodies, and circumstances with wisdom, love, health, and good fortune, centered and spontaneous. We're going to play with 4 intentions. We're going to blend these intentions with figurative language. We do that because vertebrates on this planet, over a vast ocean of time, have evolved to think symbolically. Let us lovingly wish. Now, by the way, it's not our job to choose what we feel, but we can guide our intention, our volition, our will, through the cunning use of words, recited silently or mentally. Silently or verbally. So let us wish, let us will, let us intend that each mind of each being enjoy the wisdom exemplified by an archetypical Buddha, by an archetype of enlightenment. A Buddha's wisdom is sometimes in highest yoga tantra symbolized by a one-word mantra known as a seed mantra or a bija mantra. Let us lovingly wish that all communication, and its both verbal and nonverbal, and its interpersonal consequences be as loving as an archetype of enlightenment. May each body enjoy the health exemplified by the body of an archetype of enlightenment. Let us lovingly wish that all circumstances be as fortunate as the as those depicted as the circumstances of an enlightened archetype. We shift gears now and bring mantra contemplation into the path of letting go. So let's take a moment over the next 2 pages to demystify the idea of emptiness or voidness. May I let go of all circumstances, bodies, communication, and minds, as if they were as non-graspable as a vast empty void. Like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although tantalizing to the eye, could be non-graspable to the hand. We're going to play with 8 rhetorical questions, for with mantra and for without. Why is it that as we inhale, we can visually perceive our circumstances quite readily? However, as we physically relax into our exhalation, these exact same circumstances, be they perilous or safe, be they abundant or scarce, could feel as if they were as non-graspable as an enlightened archetype's paradise, real or imagined, comprised only of light. Why is it that as we inhale, we can perceive the sensations of our body quite clearly, and yet, as we physically relax into our exhalation, these exact same forms, whether they are healthy or sick or beautiful or ugly, could begin to feel as if they were as non-graspable as a Buddha's real or imagined body of light comprised only of light. Why is it that when we inhale, we can perceive our communication and its interpersonal consequences in quite a resounding manner? And yet, as we physically relax into our exhalation, our exact same communications and their interpersonal consequences, be they kind or cruel, could begin to feel as if they were as non-graspable as a Buddha's communication, real or imagined. Why is it that as we inhale, we can clearly perceive our minds and their functions of perception, emotion, intention, reason, recollection, and imagination? And yet, as we physically relax into each exhalation, these exact same minds, be they dull or wise, could feel as if they were as non-graspable as a Buddha's mind, real or imagined, comprised only of light. Having finished this evening's mantra contemplations, we now turn to non-mantra contemplations. Let's play with melting as a metaphor of impermanence to help us to leapfrog over the tyranny of our clinging tendencies. Let us play with absorption as a metaphor of interdependence to help us to better leapfrog over the tyranny of our competitive tendencies. For these two, competition and clinging, constitute the two pillars of confusion. How could all places blissfully melt into rainbow light that absorbs into this body? I'm approaching my wall pretty quick, so bear with me as I race to our conclusion. The essence of mindfulness is simply silently and mentally reciting, watching this as we inhale. The essence of meditation can be practiced by silently and mentally reciting, relaxing as we exhale. Why would we do that? During each inhalation, we access our sympathetic nervous system that empowers our sensory acuity, allowing us to notice the external or the internal, the physical and the mental, the pleasurable and the painful, the interesting and the boring, the glorious and the grotesque. When we explore our perceptions vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and spontaneously, then we come to the point where the only label we need ever use is simply the pronoun this. But what are we to do with all this stuff that we notice? During every exhalation, we access our parasympathetic nervous system. That makes possible both physical relaxation as well as mental release. What are some of the things that we could find ourselves releasing? We could find ourselves releasing our habitual resistance to the presence of that which we hate. We could find ourselves releasing our habitual resistance to the absence of that which we crave. We could even find ourselves releasing our habitual resistance to the loss of that to which we cling. mind, speech, forms, and lots have the wisdom, love, health, and boon of Buddha's mythical Bijam Mantra Yidam and Vati. I think it would be even better if I changed the verbiage to make it less exotic. There's a good chance that the screen may be going nuts. If that's the case, I will tend to it momentarily. May all mind, speech, forms, and lots have the wisdom, love, health, and boon of Buddha's mythical mind, speech, form, and lot. May all beings like the Buddha, master being, flexible, loving, laid back, egalitarian, cooperative, and kind. May all beings practice of kind communication, conduct, and calmness, spontaneous and uncontrived. May all beings like the Buddha master the Eightfold Path as well as liberate all others. May each being take auspicious rebirth, master the Buddha's path, and then help all others do likewise. At this very moment, for the peoples and the nations of the earth, may not even the names disease, famine, war, or suffering be heard. Rather may their kind conduct merit, wealth, and prosperity increase. And may supreme good fortune and well-being always arise for them. Beginning with Kuntu Zangpo and Great Doshe Changtan to my own kindest Root Lama. Whatever aspirations they have made to benefit beings, may I accomplish them all. Approximately 11¼ hours, we could explore what exactly enlightenment is. We could also chant and meditate some more. Until then, may you and yours be happy and healthy. And if you are as geeky as me, this is the way.